Waster. So glad you could make it. Isn't it Waster, blasting Waster? Mankind screaming towards something greater. Booze is the new world order. So, where is crazy? Yes! Yet how furious he must have been to him after all. The Cool Air Project was devised to... Yes, the inventor, Innovatrix Business Solutions, was set to change the world, to save it from the to think. Alistair's final... It's no wonder the Cool Air... Yes, why in every single Cool electronic failures, faulties... In the case of Cooler CA5, the very... You see, the moment we detected the enemy's nuclear strikes, the members of the Cool Air program sealed, not us. When CA5... We weren't stupid. We tried as clean water began. Then, of course, when... But it was the sludge that did it. When the day finally came, that the cooler doors reopened for... Because he had something to... Mulligan was Alistair's strip a man of his accolades, his money, his trust me, Waster. No, Waster. This is why we must defeat the SO. We must leave behind those... Mulligan.
Step away from the escape pod, Waster. There's no need.
Quickly, Waster. It's been hacked to grant it. Activate the serpent.
No, Waster. What are you doing?
Greetings, Administrator. Dangerous levels of surface level. Please step in. Serious bodily injury and/or death may occur.
So the story goes that the Waster came, they saw, they had too much to drink, and then disappeared forever, which is totally normal as far as Wasters go. Totally forgettable. Seriously, who cares? But their house became something of a wasteland legend, a kernel in the turd, a total jewel of the West. Like, even long after the Waster went missing, people kept stumbling upon this safe haven, this fortified mega hut filled with a bunch of totally tubular trash from the old world. So, kinda embarrassing, the Waster had filled the home with a bunch of creepy mannequins. Some of them dressed, others not. Some of them were only wearing shirts, at least that's what I heard. As the Wasters continued living their boozed-up lifestyles, their humanity slowly slipping away, they looked to these mannequins as a reminder of the bodies they'd long since left behind. Behind the house was a shooting range. What began as a way to drunkenly pass the time, unsteadily unloading dangerous firearms into flimsy wooden targets, quickly became a regimen for the Wasters that had passed through the house. As years passed, the Wasters honed their skills, taming the Western Wastes with sheer firepower and military might. The once lawless Western Wastes had now found themselves under the protection of a small militia headquartered at the house. The house had gone from a small hut to a small community of Wasters to a bustling hub of culture and civilization. All the while, the Wasters stuck tiny, annoying pictures on the walls to chronicle its evolution. Historians would later look back on these photos and think, how annoying. It was no surprise that the house would become the birthplace of a new nation. After all, anyone who thought otherwise was beat on top of the head with a wooden hammer and told to get back in order. As for the bees, after a successful recruitment drive at the Oni, the bees were able to pass their knowledge of the waste to a new generation. As their numbers grew higher, they began reaching further and further out into the wastelands, finally making contact with the house. The Wasters of the house welcomed them with open arms, and in return, the bees shared with them their vast knowledge of the Western Wastes. Master Y continued to rule over Junktown with an iron fist. When word of the house had come to the Oni, Sang Sun immediately reported her findings to Master Y, who sent a small envoy to make a deal with them. In time, the Junk Dogs began supplying the house with old world tech, while the house provided the Junk Dogs with protection and a place in this new world. All the while, it's said that the head Skelly continued to operate from behind the shadows. Though nobody has seen him since the SOB raid years ago, there are those who attribute every political shift in the Western Waste to his devious puppet mastering. Oh yeah, somebody named Pinky said Mexico's not doing so great. Whatever. Anyways, in some stupid way, perhaps it was this Waster's decision that had led the Western Waste down this wobbly, drunken path. Hard to believe that from the depths of a grody wooden shack sprang forth the foundations of a new world. One almost exactly like the one before the old New World, with things like laws, order, politics, the nuclear arms race, the Cold War, the SALT talks. You know, exactly the same as the moment right before the bombs fell the first time. Well, I mean, besides the obsession with cardboard discs and unusually loose pants. Like, oh well, who cares? I'm not worried. After all, my name's Vulture Val, and I own the biggest mall in New Oni. Come visit when you have a chance. You won't what is that?
Cryosleep has now concluded. Welcome to the year 1990. Have a nice day.